Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Grabbing tea. It is beautiful in Michigan this morning. I hope it is in your hometowns. The heat wave. You guys are still handling that out there? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. There's my buddy Hags. There's Carlotta. There's Jolie. Jolie, I'm wearing a shirt you sent me today. I'm wearing it. This beautiful blue shirt with a peace sign on it. Good morning, Vegas. Good morning, Billy D. Flying Wing and Adrian. Good morning, Badgie. It is good to be where? Where's it good to be? Give me 10 answers. There's 17 people. Let's participate this morning. Where's it good to be? At tea. Where's it good to be? Here. Where's it good to be? Hanging out with my pals. Where's it good to be? Right with Carlotta. Good morning, T. Hit the like button. Where's it good to be? Oh, Badge, I like that one. Where's it good to be? Alive. Where's it good to be? Breathing. Good morning, everybody. We're going to get another person's name on the board early right away. You guys working yesterday with Brock? I would guess we got Nipper Mama on the board. Herbie, Werby, Von Burby, Kabop, or whatever his name is. And then we got Nerd Nature. Nerd Nature's up there. Look at that. Herbie almost won something. Herbie, if that was a real spin, you would have just won something. Right? What did we just see? Who's Roxanne? Is there a Roxanne here? Good morning. Good morning. Is there a Roxanne here that's new, that's getting donuts? Good morning. Oh, Roxanne. Good morning, Roxanne. Roxanne! You don't need to wear that dress tonight. Walk the streets for plenty. You don't care if it's wrong or if it's right. I'm sure you're tired of hearing people yell that song at you. Good morning. I love that song, by the way. It's one of my favorite. Roxanne. So what happens, Roxanne, is we throw chocolate donuts at you the first day you're here. Pretend you're like at an AA or a CA or an NA meeting, any A meeting. And then you pull up a chair, everybody's, oh, they're so nice. They give you coffee, they give you donuts first day. After that, they forget you're even there. So it's up to you to hang in there. Roxanne! I'm sorry, I love that song. If I played it right now, I think they would copyright violate me. Otherwise, I would play that song right this second. I'm glad to see Shy Introvert here this morning. Thank you for giving Roxanne. Thank you for giving Roxanne donuts, you guys. And Roxanne, enjoy us. We're a bunch of fun-loving learners. We like to learn here. So we goof off and then we learn. And then we play stuff. Never winner befores. Roxanne, you're going to be in that. You're right, Penny. We're a bunch of whack jobs. Shh. I actually don't mind calling myself a whack job. You know that, Eggs? It's really okay. I'm a whack job. Now, 15 years ago, what'd you call me? Now I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm a whack job. What are you? Good morning. Roxanne, you're in on this contest. Okay? You're in. The other people that are in are anybody that has never won here before. If you've won something from here before, if Pops has sent you a free box for any reason, say somebody else sent it. If you've won a free box, If you've experienced experiences from here, you cannot play this round. But if you're never won anything here before, and only you know, it's going to be up to you to tell the truth. Never winner before club. Are you ready? I'm trying to get a never winner before I want to send something to. This isn't even to get your name on the board, never winner before. This is because we're going to send you something. Okay? Captain, you said you've been here for 2 years and you've never won. Wow. Well, make sure you try to answer this one, okay? Never winner befores. Okay, and Badgie's like, but what if it's been so long I can't remember the actual experience? Then climb into the cat. You can be in the game then, Badgie. If you literally can't mentally recall the experience, jump in. Never winner befores only. Okay. What's the first person to answer that's a never winner before? Will win a prize. What's the opposite of Antarctica? What's the opposite of Antarctica? Winningly challenged people. What is the opposite of Antarctica? Australia, Africa. Africa. What is the opposite of Antarctica? Now remember that this is a popsicle. Okay, so it's got some dad joke action in there. Geography joke. What is the opposite of Antarctica? I'm asking for never winner befores, please. I'm giving it to Badgie. Boop. Badgie said he has forgotten the experience. The answer is Uncle Arctica. The opposite of Antarctica is Uncle Arctica. Badgie, you're going to get this one because you have forgotten the experience of winning. Okay? So off to Badger land this goes. What is the opposite? That one tickled my funny bone. The opposite of Antarctica is Uncle Arctica. Good job, Badgie. Badgie says, give it to Roxanne. Gosh, I love you guys. See what's happening, Roxanne? I do a lousy rendition song, and next thing you know, Badgie sends you a prize. Roxanne, how do you get the prize from us? Roxanne, what is it? Well, first of all, I want you to reach out and say thank you to Shy Introvert. He's on here. At first, it's hard to understand his name. It says S-High Introvert. And you read it all together in one word, and it says Shy Introvert. It's a very cool name. That's Corey. That's our friend Corey. I love Corey. I truly do. Corey wrote to me yesterday, sent in a donation, and said, Pops, I would like you to get 2 of your dime boxes and give them away to never winner befores. So this box right here, yeah, Herbie, Corey from Mushfest. So this one right here, Roxanne, is coming to you as a gift from Shy Introvert. How kind of you too, Corey. So he said, put 2 of those boxes together, Pops, and this week you give them out to never winner befores. Just so you guys know, on the dime boxes, there's going to be a limited amount. I think we're going to do about 25, maybe more if it really kicks, if you guys like the idea. And all of the money, except for, I'll pay myself back for the actual box and the packaging. I'll pay myself my bank back for that, just the packaging. Everything in it, all the supplements, everything that go out to you, if you send something that's going to be a donation to our nonprofit organization, fungi for you. Fungi for you. So all of the money is going to go to our nonprofit organization. Anything that we get from this after I pay myself back for the box. Okay? Boxes aren't cheap. And you want them to be cool like this because it's a little gift box. Higgs did it this morning. Higgs sent me a little donation. He said, send me 2 boxes. I'm going to send them off as gifts to my friends. Right? So if it's like this, it's going to be really fun for you to just turn around and give it to somebody else as a little gift. What's inside your box, Roxanne? The dime box is going to have a dimes. We sell our capsules for $1 each, which is about $1 less than everybody else. These are pure ghost capsules, 200 milligram. Normally that's $10. So boop, you're getting that for your dime box. We're also adding, over the course of the next 25 boxes, 2 grams of ghost. 2 grams of ghost. We just got a new batch of ghost in. They're looking like this. I'm going to try to put this batch in to the new boxes. So Roxanne, from Shy Introvert, and you just heard a commercial, from Shy Introvert, we'd like to send you this box. How do I get it to you? You'll write to my website. It's all one word. It's called the Detroit Mush Lab.net. The Detroit Mush Lab, all one word, .net. And scroll to the bottom, there's a contact place. Send me your address, remind me of who you are, and I'll send this box off to you ASAP from Corey. Thank you, Corey, very, very much. I'm going to do a couple of rando factos, okay? Make a dime box donation. Because honestly, the money is going to go to our nonprofit organization. What am I doing with it? The nonprofit money? I don't know yet. Honestly, I'm just trying to build a war chest. I'm just trying to build up enough money. Because when it's $62 sitting in there, it doesn't look anything like $620. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I got a $62 war chest. I'm gonna do something special as a nonprofit organization. That doesn't even get you gas to your first conference. Okay. I'm gonna go do special stuff for everybody. Badgie, thank you for giving that away. Roxanne should really enjoy that. So, we're building up our war chest for the purposes of what? Why would we do that? So we can spread this business. Not business, but spread this healing medicine. This, I'm trying to get somebody's name on the board. On the board. Please don't look this answer up. Please do not look this answer up. Just guess it. There's only a few that you could guess. Okay? Put your thinking caps on. Let's put ourselves in a time machine and go backwards just a little bit. Thank you, Penny. Who was the first American president to have a Christmas tree as in public, part of the White House? He put the first Christmas tree in the White House. Who was it? Andrew Jackson, JFK, Washington. I'm glad you guys aren't looking it up. Nixon, Grizzly Adams, Franklin, John Adams, Hitler, Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, Higgs. Higgs is the smart guy in class today. Taft, William H. Taft, was the first president to put a Christmas tree in the White House. He placed it in the Blue Room. In fact, the Blue Room still hosts the official Christmas tree today. Higgs You just got nerd. All of them were chubby ones at some point, right? Wasn't he the chubby one? I think every single president was chubby except for Lincoln. Okay, it's part of the deal. When you're a big fat cat politician. Here we go, Hags. Snap. Hags, you're on the board. I'll see you Friday, pal. Whiskey's like, I looked at the Prom My President poster. It's up there because we used to do a lot of presidents on tea. You're funny, Whiskey. I love presidents. I love the presidents. I do. At least, like, you know, he got a poster, put it on his wall. Pops, I'm not looking it up on Google. Like, that is really funny. Speaking of presidents, who knows anything about the Donner Party? Donner Party. What happened with the Donner Party? There's even a place in Colorado, right, called the Donner's Pass. Wasn't that group of people that was trying to get over the mountain? They got snowed in over the winter. Like 2 or 3 of them survived, something like that. Maybe they even turned to cannibalism to stay alive. We're not sure, but we think so. Lots of proof. A couple of them had to eat each other. The one dad hiked out to save the whole group. Remember that? Remember that story? Little known fact, rando facto. One of our presidents was scheduled to go on that trip. He was going to go on that trip to visit California. It was before he was president. Who do you think it was? Which president? It was before he was president. I'm going to go see the West. It helps to know that it was in 1846. So it's got to be a long time ago, right? He had to be a younger guy in 1846, ready to head west. Who do you think it was? Biden was not going on the Donner Pass party. Page got it. It's Lincoln. Page, you're absolutely right. Mike Barball right after that. Abraham Lincoln. When the ill-fated Donner Party set out from Springfield, Illinois, where was Lincoln from? Where was Lincoln from? Where was his law practice? Springfield, Illinois. What was the starting point for the Donner Party? We're heading out. We're leaving from Springfield. This big, tall, gangly rail splitter guy, he wants to go along with us. A young lawyer named Abraham Lincoln considered joining the group on their journey. At the last minute, he changed his mind and decided to not go, given that he had a child at home and Mary Todd was also pregnant. So that story freaks me out. Lincoln almost ate somebody. Abraham Lincoln almost, like Nerdy's going, close call. See, you wouldn't have eaten him because there's no meat. It was just like a tall, skinny thing. He was going to definitely be the vampire eater guy. Right, Whiskey? There was nothing on him. But he'd probably get like the fat wagon master. Wow. I never heard that story before. Okay? I've never heard that story before. How about this? There's only one domestic animal. This is going to be for a guess. This is a guess. I want somebody to guess this. And I'll put their name on the board, the first person to get this correct. But they have to have their honor system going. Is Springfield nice, Holly? It seems nice. It seems like, do you remember the TV show, do you remember the TV show Father Knows Best? You guys are too young, too old, too young to know that show. Father Knows Best. Remember that? What was their, Robert Young. Robert Young, Eleanor Donahue, Billy Gray, and Lawrence Chapin, all in Father Knows Best. I adored that show. I still find it on TV Land, Cleany, and watch it once in a while because it's got some kind of good 50s, 60s nuclear family messages. Where Bud was always getting in trouble at school or at the playground or something. Kitten was always a mischief maker. Princess was always having breakdowns because Ralph didn't ask her to the dance. Do you remember that show? I loved that show. Where do you think it was? Where do you think it was located? Mythically speaking, Springfield. Springfield. Now here's the truth. They don't really say Springfield, Illinois, because I think every state has a Springfield. Don't most states have a Springfield? So I've always been trying to figure out which Springfield did they live in, because I was going to go check them out. But I think most, a lot of people are from Springfield in an interesting way. And I love that show. Love that show. Better than Ozzie and Harriet. Ozzie and Harriet was too googly fake. It was like nobody's that good of a dad and mom. Come on, make a mistake. At least Robert Young made a mistake or two during the program. Ozzie was like perfect. It was like, no, I don't even believe you guys. Do you guys remember Ozzie and Harriet? Why am I off on this? Mr. Ed, that was crazy. A horse talking, and we all watched. I wonder what he's going to say. How about this? My Favorite Martian. My Favorite Martian. Boop. Little antennas grew out of his head. This is before they even landed on the moon. Wilbur! This is before they landed on the moon, and they were already looking around for, like, aliens. They have a new word for UFO now. Do you know that? They have a new word. It's called instead of a UFO, it's called a UAP. Red Boy, I'm having a hard time with that. Can we just stick with UFO? They had to change it to a UAP. My Favorite Martian was a good show. I love that show, actually. Eliza, I'm agreeing. Why did they have to change it to UAP? I'm not okay with the UAP. It's like, Badgie's got it. He knows conspiracies. It's a distraction. UFO makes more sense. You know what, Herbie? It's not even an aerial phenomenon, and it's called an unidentified anomalous phenomenon. They're not even sure if it's aerial or if it's just reflections or what. UAP. It's kind of cool though. I watched it just this morning for about 5 minutes. Right? Aerial phenomenon, I thought it was anomalous. The guy this morning, he was the pilot. He was saying for 2 years straight, they'd fly missions and they saw these things flying around for 2 years straight. They are actually having this week, maybe today or tomorrow, a hearing in Congress about the UAPs. They're starting to uncover that there's something really out there. Out there. Maybe it's another country, maybe it's Chinese air balloons, who knows? But at least they're finally taking it serious. We all pretend it wasn't like that. It did. There's something flies around. Let's do two more. Two more. Yawning. When you yawn, is yawning contagious? If I yawn, don't you sort of yawn? You see somebody else in the room, they yawn. You know, for some reason, all of a sudden you yawn. Like one yawn, we all yawn together. Isn't there like a yawning phenomenon? Right? I hate yawning too, Carlotta. It bothers me. It's like, why did I just do that? I wish I didn't just do that. How about this? This is a study. According to many studies, how about this? Psychopaths. You know, like that architect guy in Long Island that's killing all those ladies and burying their bodies on the beach? That guy. Psychopaths are immune to contagious yawning. And they're less likely to be startled. You can't scare him. Yeah, whatever. I'm a psychopath. You can't scare me. What? Look around the room. Next time you yawn, look around the room. If George isn't yawning, don't go home with him. It's basic. If George doesn't yawn, you want to avoid George. Okay? That's a weird one. Psychopaths are immune to contagious yawning. One final thing. In the early 20th century, Sears and Roebuck, they had like catalog sales, right? You could buy a house on Sears and Roebuck's. The Nixon house over in Whittier, California, the house he grew up in, his dad bought that as a kit house off of Sears and Roebuck. They delivered all the parts and pieces and instruction book, and you build the house. When you can, catalog sales, you could I would like one now, Sharon. Can I order a house, please? I'd like it delivered to my property in Central Michigan. Oh yeah, that house still stands. It's a museum piece now. I've been there. Could you imagine that? You can own the Sears house. There's a lot of things you could order off of a Sears and Roebuck catalog. Mostly because you couldn't get anywhere in town. You know, travel was harder. It's not like they had malls. You had to do stuff to go somewhere and get this. So catalog sales were huge. Sharon, I miss catalog too. But you know what? We have them anyways. Amazon's a catalog, isn't it? You know what I didn't know that you could buy from a Sears and Roebuck catalog? You didn't know this either. That's a true story. You could order your tombstone, already engraved. Here lies Pops. Sears and Roebuck would make it for me and deliver it to the graveyard. What? How do you do that? How do you deliver gravestones? Good morning, Richard Chavez from Austin, Texas. If this is your first time, Richard, you need to let us know so we can send you donuts. Niffer, they covered all their bases from birth to death. Right? I'll do one more rando facto. This one I've never heard of before. I'm an ex-professional poker player. I played professional poker. I got paid to play poker at casinos in Los Angeles. That's one of my claims to fame. Nobody's that cool. I was the house shill. You know what that is? You'd sit in on the table and keep the action going. And then the house floor manager, he'd move you around, go, oh, I want you to move over to table 4. Gather all your chips together. And you'd go over and you'd play at another table and you'd keep the action going, keep people liking it, keep things going. They paid you by the hour, plus you got to keep your winnings. So I was like, there was a few people, they call it not a shill, they called him a house player. Okay? House player. And little do you know it, but there's often at one of your poker tables, when you're out playing cards, often one of those guys is a house player. Believe it or not. The biggest sin you could do as a house player was to tell anybody. They're like, you're here all the time, right? Yeah, well, so are you. We're both like gambling addicts. Well, you always seem to like win, and you always... It's because I like to do this. I don't come here to lose. Right? Nerdy's like, I'd be a good cooler. You're hilarious. House player. So Pops has a lot of experience with the old Cardiarties. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Back in the Marine Corps, we used to do gin rummy all the time, and hearts and spades. I won they hated me because it was like Kirby's always taking our money on paydays. It's a true story. I was like, I'd make bank off of these guys. Mostly because you know what you do as a card player? Here's one of your biggest tricks. Poker player. Wait till about 11 o'clock at night. And then hit the table. Between 11 and 4 is when you're going to make all your money. Because they've got a lot of guys already in their cups. They've already been hitting their Budweisers and their martinis right there at the table, getting service all night long, and they're well into, and you sit down and you're sober. I'd like a highball, please. And they bring you water because you're a house player. And I'm not even kidding you. You sit down next to a table of drunks and you're not, and you know how to play, well, don't take it all. So be smart about the time you play if you want to take advantage of people. I've said all of that to tell you this. MVP, when I ran a card game in prison, I used to have a guy that would play with the Yeah. Yeah, you had your own shill. You have to. Okay? But this is something I didn't know about cards. How many suits are there in a deck of cards? This is obvious, right? It's like taking candy from drunk babies. It is. You still got to watch your cards, though. Sandy says there's 4. There's 4. There's 4. Most of us think there's 4. Most of us think there's 4 suits. I think that. As a matter of fact, I know it. I play with cards all the time. What I didn't know is that there used to be a 5th suit. Did you? No, don't even count the Joker. Don't count wild cards. There used to be a 5th suit. What do you have? You have clubs, diamonds, hearts, and spades. You know what the 5th suit was? Eagles. Higgs, I'd never heard this before. The eagle used to be the 5th playing card suit. In the United States, those cards were green with an eagle on them. instead of red or black. In England, they were blue with the royal symbol for a crown. They were originally created to be used in the game of bridge. The eagle has landed. Dropping heavy truths. Oh no. I really didn't know that there was a fifth suit called eagles. I'm not sure when they took it out of the deck, but it sounds like they were using it in both the United States and in England. Interesting. So put that one in your I'll bet you at the bar story. Huh? What do you think of that one? We still have some more things to do here in terms of getting people on the board. But do you remember last week we talked about we were going to learn how to grow again? We were going to get our we're going to do a reset. Let's do a mycology reset. We have about 15 to 20 minutes to go through the first couple of stages here today. We broke down growing, starting the tub, into 10 simple stages. So we're going to go through those stages between now and Friday. We're going to cover those stages, and it's a reset. Again, much of this you know, and or have heard before, but like just sort of do a reset. And I would challenge you. This week I had an amazing week. I've been flexing pictures on IG. I've been flexing some pictures. I had it was hard to believe that I did this. I had a 5 pounds plus harvest on my ghost tubs in 2 days. Boom. 5 pounds. Never had anything like that yet. By far, and I'm telling you this for a reason. The reason I'm mentioning this. I mean, it just rained out of the tubs. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. 4 years ago, when I was like, okay, I want to get a syringe of spores from Sporeworks and get started, I wasn't able to do what I do now. Part of the reason I want to flex is that there's a cost in everything we do. We have to count our cost. How much are you willing to put into something versus the return you will get? You have to really analyze that. Give me 1 second. Hold on. You have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. And it's a real starting point. And if you purpose in your heart, your mind, and your labor, purpose, commit, it's amazing where you can go. This is not flexing. This is the first example of you too can do this. This is a 4-year-old sample. 4 years ago, I took this and I saved it. I was even using little labels then. I was trying to be package boy, right? One of the easiest things for me when I first started out, one of the easiest strains to work with was Golden Teacher. Well, let me show you guys. I'm still proud of it, but this was one of Pop's first tubs of Golden Teacher. Have a good day, RX. We'll see you tomorrow, brother. That was one of my first. We're pulling 5 pounds of these out yesterday in the last few days. What's the difference? Well, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week for the last 4 years. Well, don't cut corners. Well, learn patience and kindness. Well, do this. Give away as much as you grow at first. The mushrooms know what you're doing. You may not believe this, but I got 4 years on you. I can tell you I know what I'm talking about. I didn't start growing until I started giving. My first 6 months. What do you think this package? I took this Why do you think it's packaged like this? Oh, it's an eighth. And I'm gonna get $35 for this. Started selling to local people around in Michigan here. $35. I look at that now, I go, if I would give this to somebody today and like, geez, you're really not seeing what I can grow. As long as I was spending my time packaging eights and trying to make $35 a piece off of them, I wasn't learning how to do this. I was making my little $35 an eighth. I know, Badgie, me too. But that's what I was doing. I was like, and they were going out, oh, this is the best stuff. It's still mushrooms. Still has psilocybin in it. It's still fine. Doesn't have the bag appeal, but it still works. You guys can grow just like, there's people who do even more than me, so don't get me wrong. But you want to get yourself to a level, you need to follow procedures. You need to click into a procedure, dial that procedure in, and become an absolute expert at that procedure. Don't deviate, don't move, don't experiment for your first 6 to 9 months. You're going to want to. Don't. Start with 2 tubs. Once you've mastered 2 tubs, I can do 2 tubs, no problem. Add 2 more. Boop, now you're at 4. Won't take you long to turn 4. Boop, I can do 8. At the same time, I can do 2 to 3. Now you're reaching sort of a capacity issue. How much room do you have? How much market do you have? How many people are you giving it to? How much do you need to make back to break even on your hobby? There's a lot of variables come into it at about this point. But up until then, we're talking an amazing hobby that you can get better at. We're going to start out with our stages, 10 stages. We're going to cover this amazing hobby this week. If you've never grown before, get after it. There's nothing personally in my life that's ever been more fulfilling. More from the perspective of, gosh, I learned so much about myself as I watched myself grow patience as I grew mushrooms. And it's easy too, because you know what our cycle is? It takes about 45 days. About 45 days ago, I started 5 pounds worth of tubs. Boop. 45 days later, there they are. And then I would add 45 days plus 4 years of practice. This small manual is meant to be a quick start guide on your myco journey. We will discuss and illustrate the basic things you need to start a monotub type grow, and the order which we suggest you do these things as you begin this amazing magical voyage of discovery. That was my favorite line of the book. Step-by-step instructions with hand-drawn illustrations will help you learn home cultivation easily. The word mycology comes from the ancient Greek mykos, which means fungus, and logia, logic, meaning the study of it. So mycology means the study of fungus, fungi. Here's a pop fact. The father of mycology is considered to be Heinrich Anton de Berry, 1831 to 1888, his lifespan. He was a German botanist whose researches into fungi and molds in causing plant diseases earned him the title of founder of modern mycology and plant pathology. First things to do in our process. We're going to have 10 stages, but let's think about what we're doing first. What's the first thing that we need to do? What we want to do is get organized. We want to put all of our, not every duck needs to be in a row, but we need to get certain ducks in a row. We get organized. We don't want to be a disorganized mycologist. Give me 5 people that says that kind of makes sense. Being organized is a good idea. As a matter of fact, the more organized I am, probably the better my fruits of labor will be. I can tell you Pops is an OCD freak. I'm an organization freak. It's one of the reasons we do well. Because I create organization. And then I get a freak about it. So let's get organized. First thing you want to do is you got to figure out what are you going to start with? Are you going to start with a spore syringe? I know, Holly, I actually hate it too, but then part of it's a strength, right? OCD sometimes really works well for us. Especially if you know, like you're in the middle of an OCD thing, just go with it. The first thing I want you to do when you're thinking about starting your grow is ask yourself this question. Simple question. What am I going to start with? Am I going to start with spores? Or am I going to start with liquid culture? The syringes. Spores are legal. I think every state except 2 or 3 in the United States. Spores you can get, and spores are easy to get, easy to trade, easy to say, library, put in a library, easy to catalog. Spores are, I'm gonna be a little bit bold here. Okay? Think of it this way. Okay? Think of it this way. Apologize to you if this is going to be offensive. Spores are like the sperm. An individual spore, let's pretend is a sperm. Sperm cell. Wiggly diggly do guy. Right? So if you start out with a syringe of spores, you're basically starting out with a syringe of sperm cells. If we look at liquid culture is further along in the development. Liquid culture is as if you're almost looking at the embryo, the already developing embryo. And now you have it almost an embryonic plasmic stage inside the syringe. So you have one that's just the very, very beginning of life. You have another one that's already living, colonizing, and thriving. Which would you want to start with? Generally, we're going to want to start with the liquid culture because it's faster and easier to work with. But I need you to count the cost. You have to make that decision because liquid culture, let's put all the facts on the table as of today, is not necessarily legal for us to be selling and trading through the U.S. mail. Spores, you'll have no risk. You won't have anybody to worry about. Your wife won't say you're doing something illegal. Your mom will be okay with it. LC, you're like, well, there's a gray area. I've never had a problem with it. I suggest you probably won't either. I can also tell you 4 years ago, you couldn't find LC. You could not. You had to get your own. You had to start with spores. You had to take spores. You'd have to put it on agar, test it, clean it, start your own LC from it. You had to do a lot to get your spores to go, or just take the spores and shoot them on the. You can also take the spores just as they are from one of your spore companies and shoot it right onto the grain, and it'll colonize. It's going to be a much slower process. If you start with liquid culture and you squirt that onto the grain, which we'll talk about in the stage, it'll probably happen twice as fast. You're colonizing. Okay? If the postman knew how dirty he was riding, oh, I know. Oh, I know. I drop off about 15 felonies a day. Okay? They're not anymore. Stop it. I don't even worry about it. But I'll tell you, 4 years ago, I couldn't find, and the whole culture's changing, not liquid culture, our mycology culture's changing, and liquid culture's very available in some very valid and easy to grow strains to start with. Commercial here, we offer it on our website. And a ridiculously fair price, and it's clean, and we stand behind the product. And if you get something and you don't like it, we're 100% guaranteed to get your money back. There are other people out there that have liquid culture that it's available from them too. We're not saying by any means you have to only get it wherever. Find yourself a reputable source for either your liquid culture or for your spore syringe. But this is the very first place you start. If you're going to start a tub, first thing you have to do is you have to make up your mind, I want liquid culture or I want spores. Give me 5 people that say that makes sense. That's probably a good place to start. That's a good place to start. Second place, let's throw in there, what kind of grain am I going to work with? There's 3 or 4 basic grains we work with in Mycology. You get to pick one. Some of it's going to be based off of what's available in your area, what you can afford, what you like, but I'm going to tell you this, once you pick one, stick with it. Don't do popcorn this week, oats next week, Milo the week after, and then wonder, how come I'm not getting this? Stick with one. Pick one grain, master it. Become as good as you can become at it. Say, I know I've done popcorn for 9 months now. I can tell you everything that there is to know about colonizing popcorn and how to prep it. Now I'm ready to move on to the next one. So here's the process. You start with the syringe, either a spore or a liquid syringe, liquid culture. And then you'll use this to inoculate a sterilized grain. This grain is what we call grain spawn when it's colonized. As it colonizes, this is the first thing we're going to do, is we're going to knock up a jar in our process here. Because guess what? That jar is going to take about 20, if you're using liquid culture, you're using a jar, and you're using, maybe a whole oats, it's going to take 25 days for that jar to turn completely white and colonize. So what do? You get the jars going first, boop, so you can set them off to the side for the next 20 days while you get the next parts of your grow started. That again makes sense. Wow, that sounds organized. Literally, the first thing you want to do as quick as you can is get yourself some grain going. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go through step by step how to get the grain going, etc. But the process is get your grain started. Now, once that's started, you've got a window of time to get other things ready for when the grain is ready. Then, of course, if you're doing like us here, now we're cycle growing. Every 5 days, we start a new batch. Every 5 days, we start a new batch. Every 5 days, we start a new batch. Every 5 days, so 5 days, every 21 days, every 20 days, another batch is coming out. Another batch is coming out. So we keep our batches rotating on a cycle grow. Things to do. These are the things I want you to consider doing in your organization process. Order your spore syringe or liquid culture. It's the very first thing you need to do. If you're going to grow mushrooms, very first thing you need to do, because guess what? If I ordered a spore syringe today, when am I going to get it? If I ordered a spore syringe, when will I get it? Maybe 2 weeks. Might be up to 2 weeks. I send some money off to spore syringes. They got spore works, whatever. It could be up to 2 weeks. What would happen? Maybe a liquid culture guy. I might have it. It's still going to take me about a week. So what you want to do is order it. Very first thing, order your syringes of spores or liquid culture. You're already got to wait 6 or 7 days now. Welcome to Patients Mycology 101. It's the best part. You're already learning patience, aren't you? Unless you're Pops, where's the tracking? I scanned it an hour ago and it still hasn't updated. Oh my God! Bro, you're still working on getting your syringe. You gotta calm down. This whole thing is gonna teach you patience. But I thought it was gonna be. This whole thing's patience. Come on, man. First thing you want to do is order your syringe. Second thing you want to do is start bothering Pops for tracking. Okay, that's in the steps. Thirdly, leave Pops alone. No. Kidding. Okay. Order your spore syringe. Find a reputable dealer and get your spore syringe ordered right away. This will usually take a couple weeks to be delivered. You can be gathering and preparing your other materials during this time. Decide if you will make your own grain spawn or if you're going to order it from a reputable dealer. There are companies out there that send us, that we can order, bags and or jars of pre-sterilized grain. The work's done for us. Boop, we get our bag, we get our syringe in the mail, we get our bag in the mail, knock it up. Done. You don't need a pressure cooker, you don't need to make a bunch of decisions, you'll get yourself some bags of grain. I'm going to warn you on this. I have, over the years, made 2 or 3 relationships. Built relationships with guys that were grain dealers, sterilized grain dealers. They did all the work at home, garage, or whatever their organization is. I have yet, me personally, I have yet to find a home guy that does it reputably, on time, every time. I order 5 days from now, I'll get my grain so I can keep my system going, and I don't end up with a wet bag or a bag that it turns green on me. I haven't found the guy. I'm not even for 1 second intimating that he's not out there. But I've gone through a number of them. I haven't found the guy that can actually send me a bag of pre-sterilized grain. I have found one company. And I'm not usually, I don't usually commercialize for other companies. But this company I will. They have some outstanding bags of grain that I have used in the past. I haven't in a long time, so it's been a little while. But it's a company called Outgrow. Outgrow. When you look them up online in Google, there's other Outgrow companies that do other things. You have to look up Outgrow Mushroom Dealer or something like that. And Outgrow sells, and I recommend these, if they're still on his site, 1 pound bags. Right, Kimberly? 1 pound bags of pre-sterilized rye. And I'll have to say, still receiving them, because don't forget, when somebody's shipping you a pre-sterilized bag of something, it's going to experience a lot of different shipping conditions. It's going to go through hot and cold. It's going to get walked around, womped on this. It might be raining. It might be, who knows? So there's a lot of environment conditions that grain's going to go through while it's being shipped to us. I would say Outgrow's failure, the bags that I've gotten from them that I'm not going to, you'll know immediately when you see the bag, it's a little wet, the grain at the bottom. You don't want to use that bag. I would say his failure rate for us has been less than 10% of the bags that I've gotten that we'll not use, and he'll replace them. So outgrow.com. I don't know. I shouldn't say .com. Outgrow. It's a mushroom supplying company. If you're like really wanting to do it, you get yourself however many bags of rye berries from him, 1 pound bags, and it works. His grain works very, very well. This is a formula that you'll want to sort of memorize. Somebody asked me just yesterday, Pops, how many cc's of liquid culture do I need to start my 5 pound bag? He has a 5 pound bag that he's starting. 5 pound bags are tricky. Let me tell you why. You're putting a lot of eggs in one basket. I personally don't choose to do that very often. Once in a while, I do them just to show off. An 8 pound bag I did not long ago. But I would rather have 5 1 pound bags than 1 5 pound bag, because my chances of the bags surviving are better. If 1 bag went bad, I lose 5 pounds all at once. So Outgrow has a great LC premix too, MVP. You're 100% right. Their powder, we use that. So you can get yourself some 1 pound bags. That's what I highly recommend. And I would also 2 cc's of liquid culture per 1 pound. So if you've got yourself a 5 pound bag, you're going to use the whole 10 cc's of liquid culture in that 5 pound bag. You want to be careful. You don't want to just squirt it in and create a pool of liquid. When you do squirt into a bag, you want to make sure that here's your bag, and you're squirting in. You want to make sure as you're depressing, you're moving your needle around and getting as much of that liquid culture squirted into as much of the grain as possible. Okay? We'll discuss that on our process in a couple of days. But the first thing you need to do is figure out, are you going to use spores or liquid culture? The next thing you need to do is decide, are you going to buy bags pre-sterilized and ready for you, or are you going to make your own? If you're going to make your own, now's the time to order your grain. It might take a couple of days for you to get your grain. So this is the organizing time. So you're going to order your grain. We'll discuss which grains and the differences between the grains here as part of the process. The third thing you're going to want to do, I'm sorry that I'm running a little long here, you guys. The third thing, this is our organizing phase still. We're going to decide our substrate. Are we going to make our own substrate soil? Or are we going to go use one of the guys out there that sell us pre-pasteurized soil? If you're brand new and you have an extra $1, I highly recommend what Herbie just wrote there, Twisted Tree Nursery. He sends you the bag. It's already at proper field capacity, meaning the right amount of wetness. It's already been pasteurized. And to this day, I don't know if I've ever gotten a bag of pre-pasteurized soil from Twisted Tree that the tub turned green and I could blame the soil. I don't think that's ever happened. And that's an amazing record. So unless you're prepared, and I hope you are, and we're going to discuss it, you're going to decide at this point, I'm going to make my own soil or I'm going to order some. And if I'm going to order some, now's the time to do it. You're ordering your syringe, you're ordering your bags of grain, and you're ordering your soil. You could do all of that today. well on your way to being a mycologist. And then the final thing that you get to do, you don't need to do that all in the same day, but you're going to slowly over the course of the next few days, as your jar is colonizing, that's giving you about a 20-day window to gather the parts and pieces you need to make the tub itself. The sterilite tub, the drill, the poly, the liner material. We're going to discuss that in a phase. So, in review, in summary, you're going to decide I'm going to use a spore syringe or a liquid culture syringe. You're going to find a reputable dealer for either one and get that ordered ASAP. While that's coming to you, you're going to decide what kind of grain you're going to use. You're going to either go get your grain and get your pressure cooker ready, or you're going to reach out to somebody and order grain from them. Thirdly, your soil. You're going to get your soil parts and pieces together. We're going to discuss that briefly in the next couple of days. What do you need when you're making your own soil? Versus, I'll reach out to Twisted Tree and get some from them. And then finally, we'll also be talking about gathering materials to actually build the tub. Okay? Etsy actually, Twisted Tree is actually on Etsy. I think that's their marketing platform that they use. And again, I know the people personally at Twisted Tree. I'm friends with them. I love sending them business if you have any for them. They've never once let me down. Otherwise, I'd start like, they're a little shabby, da-da-da. That's one quality organization. They send you quality product. And they're not on the gouge. They are not on the gouge. It's really a good thing. Boomer Shroomer, I have tried, Carrie, and I've been disappointed. The boomer boxes, I have bought substrate from them, and it's happened, unfortunately. You open up their bag and it smells like chlorine. You'll smell it, so they're like a urine-y smell. Something's gone bad. And I would say with the boomer bags, I've had enough happen for me to say I don't trust their bulk amounts. So, and that's just me. You know, lots of people have had probably amazing, you bought the inflatable tub, that's probably okay. I'm just talking about their soil, their boxes of manured soil, okay? Yeah, Carrie, you should be okay. They put a manure base in their soil, and it doesn't last for long. It doesn't have a long shelf life. So, enough said on all of that. Let's do a final giveaway here. Oh, no. Yeah, I've gone long today. We'll do our readings tomorrow. And we'll start tomorrow with some question and answers on today. Okay? So we'll start that out tomorrow. I hope you guys had a good day here today. I hope I didn't talk too much and for too long. But this is going to be a fascinating week. We're going to go through this growing mushrooms in 10 easy stages. We haven't even started about the first stage yet. We're still talking about getting organized. Get your stuff together. Today's the day. If you've ever said, I'm going to grow mushrooms, today's the day to start. There's nothing wrong with today being the day. You can sit in front of your computer and get your liquid culture. You can get your oats, rye berry bags, and you can get your substrate, and it'll all be at your house within a week. Are you kidding me, Pops? I could start growing mushrooms next week? Yeah. Yep. Let's do it together. Have a great day, you guys. I love you all. I really appreciate your kindness and friendship here, especially people like Corey and Hags. I got a thing from Hags. Hags is doing giveaways. You guys just blessed my socks off out there. Let's keep taking care of each other. Let's keep doing the right things. Let's keep growing this thing the proper way. Pops, peace, love. See you guys tomorrow. Let's keep being mycologists too. Mycology is pretty darn cool, isn't it? Roxanne, it's pretty good, isn't it? Whiskey and Anthony. Roxanne, get me that address. Anthony, I love you, kid. Okay? You got to get your stuff out of storage. Let's get to work, Anthony. I'm going to snap a whip on you. I have a feeling you could grow like no other. Okay, get after that UB, Michael Brown. I like it. It's a good way to start. We'll discuss that this week too. Cleany and Nippy and Badgie. Grow people, grow yourselves. Wishing well and EMT and Jesus Christ, get some berry bags. Okay? You're a crazy dude, Jesus. Mike Baraball and Nerdy. And Daniel Cunningham too. And Benny Ben and MDK and Adrian. And Mom's Munchies saying hi to Michael and Tiffy. Satterwolf and Holly and Cleany and B. Hendricks. Or don't. You can be it or you don't have to be him. You can be Hendricks or don't be Hendricks. Sharon Sparks and I, we love catalog shopping. Sid Hunter, Marilyn Hodge. Hi, Marilyn. Kimberly, Mycology is really cool. Hags, love you. Poncho, love you, kid. Jolie, you're growing. You guys don't know it. Jolie's got tubs all over her house. Herbie Von Verby come up and Nipper and Carrie. Way to go, Carrie, and Anthony and Richard, and Holly and Billy D, and Roxanne in Vegas and Westgate. And moms, I love that mom. Mike Barapolo, Jesus Christ, and Anthony, and Jake, Snake, Red Boy, Eagle, Grady, Mushmouth, hey Mushy, Hip Kitty Meow, Holly and Kimberly, and Silly Gal and Ego, and Satterwolf and Jesus Christ, and Carlotta. I love Carlotta. I love me some Car. Sandman, Holly, Justin, Saska Mojo, Roxanne MDK, Sharon Carlotta, Mike Baraball and Pidgey Page, Anthony Daniel Cunningham. This list is long. I'm still saying goodbye. Hippie and Jolie and Holly and Sharon and Cappy and Holly and Jesus and Alan and Penny Pack. Hi, Michelle. And Whiskey and MDK and Holly and Pops. Peace. I'm out of breath. Well, good day, you guys. Love ya.